Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
How many times do we start off the show with, you know what's better about me than there used to be about me?
I think that comes at all points of the show. It's not
every
just the opening.
10 minutes.
It's not just the cold open.
Yeah, this is what therapy has done. You know what I'm proud of with myself? What, fuckface? That when those things happen, instead of panicking, because I still kind of panic, like, Josh is going to think it's me, which you never do.
Right.
You've always been very nice.
Very nice, man.
But my own pressure is I've done something, because so many times. First of all, I thought it was very funny when you said at 10:30, I need 10 more minutes, and then 10:37, you said, I'm ready whenever you are. Like I'm going to be ready early for you. You're lucky I don't make it 10:45 with my nonsense.
No, I didn't expect you to be right there.
I know that. I was kidding with you.
I was just trying to make it easy on you.
That was very sweet. That was very sweet. You didn't do one of these. Okay, now I'm ready. I don't need 10 minutes.
Again, I'm a very nice man.
You know what the thing about you is? That you're a very nice man, and yet on some levels, like when you punch that guy at Subway, he goes into Subway, and he gets upset because the guy didn't put chips with his order. Fucking Josh takes the guy, pulls him by his lapel. I don't think he had lapels. Over the counter. I had to separate
It was his
them.
apron. It was his apron I grabbed.
I was told that it was Subway Eat Fresh. That food will always be either symbolic or is the worst food in the world. Look, I know there are poor people. I hope I still know there are. I hope I'm not being a dick, which I could be. But that food smells like failure.
Their food, in terms of esteem, crashed harder than Arby's, I would say.
Oh, not because of Jared.
Well, no. I mean, I think that's part of it, but just the actual quality of the food over the years from when they were first.
How could they go down? How could that? They do this a lot. It's like the comedy clubs in the 80s when they were losing business. They said, let's cut back on the comedy. We'll have 2 comics.
Right.
So isn't that a similar thing? Let's cut back on the quality of our horrible thing to begin with.
Right.
Arby's in the old days, I think I've told you this 20 times, used to have like you go in there and it'd be a big guy roast beef. That's
what I'm talking about. When did that happen? I'm talking about in terms of from where some of chains started in terms of its quality and esteem to where it is now.
It just took me that long to get it. It just took me that long.
Even bigger fall.
So I'm not. See, I always thought maybe I'm wrong, or all of the places went to bad food at the same time. But Arby's, I clearly remember being a delicious place that you could go to that had fresh roast beef.
That was its initial thing, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe I remember that one.
But that was like 50 years ago.
Well, how old do you think I am?
Older than that.
Right, so I remember.
I'm talking about it for me, and I'm using my lifespan as the time.
It's never been good in your lifespan.
No, in my early life, it was good, and then it got bad, is my point. That's not even my point. My point was hours ago, it seems like.
Arby's, we have the meat. It's pressed. We have the meat. I don't know how anybody ever. I know what the motivation was. Instead of the good meat, can you do something with it to make it less tasty? Yes, we'll process it even more. Or process it to begin with. I don't know what processing means.
You'd think all that processing would make it more expensive, and yet.
I think that is my image of America would be that even the fast food chains would all be marvelously. Well, I guess McDonald's McDonald's was a revolution. I didn't see the movie all the way through. It's a good movie with Michael Keaton.
Clearly.
No, but I had no. I listened to it on a plane with no sound. The sound kept going in and out.
So again, great movie. How do you know?
It seemed like it conveyed the hideousness of the original guy, along with some of his like he got mad that one time. Who the fuck here didn't? Who cut the pickles like this? Remember that scene? Who the fuck cut these pickles?
Sure.
That.
The pickle scene, they called that during production.
And then there was another thing where the guy he buys the guy. I think he ripped somebody off, the McDonald's guy, but I'm not sure who. I think it might have been McDonald's.
The McDonald's brothers, he was, I mean, one could argue that they got what they wanted at the time, that they just undervalued themselves too. Oh!
They were paid a certain amount of money
when
he left.
Yes.
Okay, fuck them. It's all about, and the other thing that I will say that I like about that family, without knowing anything else about it, is that the wife gives a lot to. I don't know if she's still alive, probably not, but they gave to a lot of worthy causes.
You just know that because they say her name during NPR.
That's the only way I know. You think I do outside research? You know what's a good company? Archer Daniels Midland. You know what I mean?
Greatest.
I hear them. They're on PBS a lot.
You know who really is best for society is the Chubb Group.
The who?
The Chubb Group.
Wait, I know somebody works for Chubb.
Sure,
isn't it an insurance group?
It's their Chubb Group. I don't know.
I thought Chubb were like in Chubb. How are you spelling Chubb?
I'm spelling it with 2 B's in this case.
Yeah, so it's like they tell you.
Yeah, it's a group.
Right, but they do basically. Okay, that's the typical thing where my professional. Well, I don't have a professional code. Right. Dropped as soon as I heard a word that was used in a way that I wasn't sure if I'd heard it that way before.
Yeah.
So I had to stop the. What is this called? A cavalcade, a grind, an hour that you can't get back. A fool's errand, great work, Andy.
Are you on the podcast entry in Roger's right now?
I wish we did have a video. I'm glad we don't. But you did a little.
I twisted my head. Roll. I twisted my head almost all the way around.
I did a little Roger's. Can you imagine how Dennis Miller felt when he was the first person to know about 10 words?
Smug.
What was you looking up for?
I was pondering. When you said, "Can you imagine?" I was miming imagining.
Hey, look, cuckoo.
But apparently,
maybe you need to get a Roger.
Stagecraft is wasted here.
I don't hear what you're saying, but you think sight gags will work.
I'm Pearl. He's Swiney. We're Pearl and Swiney.
Oh, I think I get a lot of your pearls. Why are they laughing is our whole act. Why are they laughing? Don't worry about it, little buddy. See, that's the problem with duos.
Get back in the case.
They want to get into it. I don't want to be Gilligan to your Skipper. You know what I mean? But that's how it ends up all the time.
Because I keep hitting you with my hat.
I will just... Alan Hale, do you realize I heard that was something he came up with?
The hat hitting?
Just to hit Gilligan.
Sure.
And then when I started into show business, and we know I've been in show business, I was obsessed with Alan Hale's Fish House. I don't know if it was still open when I moved out here or if it closed, but I imagined myself going there and talking to the skipper.
Yeah.
Not about Gilligan's Island because it was a terrible show, but maybe he'd have some other interesting things. His father was an actor, I believe.
He was. He was Alan Hale Jr. you're speaking of.
His father was Alan Hale Jr.?
No. Wasn't it like wasn't it like the Lobster Barrel or something like that?
What's that from?
His seafood restaurant, Alan Hale Jr.
Oh, I didn't know it was the Lobster Barrel.
I don't know.
I always thought it would be good too. I always thought it'd be good because I just realized it. I just got it. He wasn't a seagoing one. He wasn't a seagoing guy.
His character,
Alan Hale.
His character
on Gilligan was.
Yes.
And I couldn't even get that connection back in the days. I just thought he liked fish, and he was I thought he was seagoing.
It's like when Mickey Rooney opened the sushi bar.
He did not, though, did he?
No, he did not.
I had the greatest sushi bar in the world. Well, guess what I did last night?
I bet you watched the Adam
Heaven. Well, first of all, Josh had Judd. You're not Josh. You're Judd. He had a good set.
I'm Judd?
No, you're Josh. Judd had a good set.
Good.
So that was good.
Yeah.
But do you want me to make any more comments about how I feel about Adam Sandler? And I'm only saying in a very petty way, so I'll feel better in the moment.
I feel like we've covered the Adam Sandler thing. Maybe if you can come at it through the others who spoke, maybe then we can get a little bit of fresher turf.
Really, my disgust with Rob Schneider is new. I think it's a couple of years old. He is probably, I can't imagine, first of all, the results are in. He is one of the worst human beings. Whether you speak to Jay Kogan, whose wife was yelled at by him, or you speak to anybody in show business, he's a horrible, horrible person. He's Dennis Miller terrible. But he does not even have, well, Dennis Miller doesn't have any more talent.
By the way, Jay's a listener. Jay, maybe you'd like to embellish this story.
That's true. I mean, I'll tell you why I know this. I had a lunch meeting with Rob Schneider after Montreal one year.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out. And his whole thing at that time was, I get what you're doing, baby. I get it. That's right. He was presenting himself as doing the same thing that I did, ready to fucking not. What was he thinking? Did he not know that Sandler hated me probably yet? I mean, I don't know what he was thinking. But Jay Colgan at the time said, that guy's a bad guy. He is a very, very bad guy. And my argument at that moment was, you're represented by Gavin Polone.
To Jay?
Right?
No,
back then.
Yeah.
You're represented by Gavin Polone.
Yeah.
There cannot be a worse human being, bully, asshole in the world. So I was acting a little bit like with Jay, like, yeah. You're so great. But then I went to the lunch meeting and I was like, whew, Jay should have sold this harder that this guy was a. Why didn't he try to prevent the meeting from happening? So then he told me that his wife had a terrible experience with him. I don't remember what it was exactly, but how can you remember them from all the terrible? But this was before he became a MAGA right-wing douchebag who supported the Canadian trucker boycott. But last night was great.
I met him only as a road comic. Like before Saturday Night Live.
Okay. So you want to tell me, was it okay?
He was he was one of,
he was fine probably.
We were the local comics and he was the headliner coming through that week. So those guys tended to behave pretty well.
Yeah.
But, we all liked him in 1989 or 8.
Yes.
Or 8.
I was a fan of his in that exact same years because he was living in San Francisco and he had some good material. However, I think I've seen through Rob Schneider, and of course everybody will think I'm an egomaniac and all this stuff. When he does a joke like, he ends up with this joke like, most people wouldn't do Elvis on a fish hook, right? Some bit, right? And he goes, I go right for it. All right? So to me, here's what that meant. I could be a completely different comedian doing different things. The one thing that I did that was a little esoteric, Elvis on a hook, I better cover that up by saying that, by being so brave about it, by going, I went right for it. But then he didn't live up to that promising start. People loved him when he started out in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I remember laughing at him
he was
very much.
He was a beloved guy on the circuit.
Right. And then, even at the early years of Saturday Night Live, he made me laugh a little bit with the, was he the bye guy or was that Spade? No, he was
Spade. He was the copy guy.
The copy guy wasn't bad for the first couple of bits. Right?
Sure.
Schneider, schmoopy. But then...
If you're trying to convince me that Rob Schneider went from good to bad.
I realized I was setting it up too much, giving you too much free advice. All right, so we start singing this thing. Because they're all musicians. They're all great musicians over there. Sandler, some of the great... And I think some of the greatest singers...
I can't really bash on people for hack musicianship, but... Okay.
No. You're wrong, my friend. Adam Sandler, who's doing something very similar to what Al Jolson did. Because when Jolson first sang, people didn't think, they didn't think that would be big. Nobody thought, I can't talk like an adult, so I'll stay in this state for the rest of my life. Nobody thought that would take off. And it did. They were wrong. So now they all think that they're great musicians. And by the way, Rob Schneider's daughter is a great musician. I've only heard a couple of her things. She's excellent. So I'm not saying there's no talent in the family or maybe she was raised somewhere else. But last night he starts singing, Adam Sandler is a friend of mine. Oh, and then he gets to crooner. Halfway through, it's like a funny song. But towards the end, he goes, what you do it, he actually does this. I never do that because I know when it's starting to vibrate, that's not the way you're supposed to make vibrato, right? But he's doing Elvis Costello style vibrato, which I think comes naturally to Elvis Costello. But for Rob Schneider, it was like, it was embarrassing. It was great. It was embarrassing. It was wonderful.
Yeah. But you're sort of busting him on technique. Singing technique is the problem.
Well, because we already know. You're saying we already know he sucks. So what would he be judged on? His jokes suck. Yeah. He's going to do jokes about MAGA. He has no material. He's terrible in every. I have never seen the Adam Sandler movies, but he looks like he does insult. Does he play Mickey Rooney style character in one? I mean, what doesn't. It's like
hold on to that ire. I have to go.
I know.
The dog. 1 sec.
We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back.
The new kid doesn't understand the whole pool guy situation yet. So,
Chris Rock had the best line I thought of the night.
Yeah.
Or he could not do it. I didn't expect it. I didn't know Paul Pelosi was there. Did you see him do it?
No, I didn't see the whole thing.
Oh, okay. Can I tip it for you, or does it matter?
You won't ruin
he goes, he comes out, he goes, hey, Paul Pelosi, you and I are the only people in here who knows what it's like to be punched in the face. It was funny at the time.
Yeah.
Is it not as good, or did I not do a good job? Are you mad at me about it?
I'm a little
Should I have done it better? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So here's the
you kind of Rob Schneidered it.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know how good the Mark Twain shows have been before.
Yeah.
I think I saw Letterman's, and I loved it because I love Letterman.
Sure.
But this might have been...
I saw it when Huckleberry Finn was inducted.
That's just an expression.
Injun Joe was hilarious.
It's not related to Mark Twain.
Oh, okay.
But you know what? I used to do this joke. Mark Twain, when Leno got it, I said, Mark Twain, much like Leno, had a very exotic collection of boats, classic boats that he had with steam. I couldn't say it as funny as when I knew it.
Right. Paddle boats.
Paddle boats. So I don't know how good they've been, except this was the worst. This might, except for the one when comics are talking,
well,
and they could be funny.
The problem with it was the premise.
And here's what was happening. The whole night they were doing like jokes about how horrible, how ridiculous it is.
All right.
Here's the other thing.
It was a very classy roast, it sounds like.
No, because when they would point out, when they would get to the part where they would say something like, who could believe that someone like you could have ever gotten this far and become a movie maker?
Right.
They stop just when that starts to get uncomfortable, and they go up to praising him again. I love you. You're the greatest guy in the world.
Right. But the roast classically ended that way as well.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But this was like, the only thing was
But yes,
Rob,
no one was trying to make a mockery of the proceedings because it was still the Kennedy Center, or the Mark Twain, rather.
But when people made fun of the fact that Rob Schneider is a fucking idiot that has the worst act in the world, Rob Schneider did a doubled over Dean Martin roast take.
Yeah.
Doubled over. I have heard that his show, which someone sent me a trailer about his new TV show, I don't know, is the worst.
Schneider?
Yeah, it's the worst thing that you'll ever see, and I can't wait. Please send me more clips from that. So whenever it was Chris, you're right, it was the premise. So they did this thing that was so horrible that I can't even describe how bad it was. It was basically they filmed the whole night of Adam Sandler being roasted at this other Mark Twain award thing, like a previous thing.
Yeah.
Like when this won't be on the TV. Well, we'll be on the TV because we're going to tape it. So, and then just people like Haim saying he's our hero, Adam. That's the whole people walking around and tapping him on the shoulder and like. You see that it seems to me that he's like a guy that none of those people know at all, right? Because he's too fucking remote for them to know him. The only people who know him best are Alan Covert. The interesting things were, I thought Tim Herlihy was a stand-up, but I guess he wasn't a stand-up, was he?
Oh.
Okay, let's move on.
I just don't have the kind of...
Give me that one more time. How did Tim Herlihy get involved?
I don't know. I think he just hooked up with them.
Oh, no, I thought you were going to give me the more... I thought you were going to give me the dismissive, who knows? Who knows? But this thing where people would say, it's interesting to me if you keep saying for 2 hours that someone's the nicest person that you'll ever meet. Right. To me, that means that if they like you, they're the nicest person in the world. And if you're in an inferior situation to him and you are the benefactor of all of his largesse to give his friends, he's got to be in control. He's got to have people who are not as bright around him. And then they kept talking about the critics. They're going, hey, how about those critics? They didn't say they made fun of the critics, but they didn't say the critics were right. They didn't say the critics weren't conspiring. They were just right. These were awful, awful. Now, I know, love The Wedding Singer. I heard that was okay.
I love them all, really. I just let my guard down and enjoy. You know me.
Also, here's my other theory. I told you about Sandler. He's very mean-spirited, and he only is. And apparently, he's like Leno. You could even tell from the roast last night.
But you know what? We're all like that, Andy. Come on. Comics are mean. We're all mean.
But I'm mean on stage.
Yeah, but you're mean off stage too. So
I'm not like no. I'm a nice no. Nobody walks around.
You're sitting here trashing an entire award show worth of people. For God's sake, that's awful of you.
It just was like, and then Jennifer Aniston and Drew Barrymore. Jennifer Aniston, I think, is an outstanding actor. I loved her in Friends with Money. And she's been in great movies, and she was funny on Friends.
Right.
There's no chemistry between Adam Sandler and any woman he's ever on screen dealt with, except for Queen Latifah. You could tell that they had actually dated.
Uh-huh.
So these women are made to pretend to be attracted to him in movie form, and they do it for money. And then they're up there going, "Thank you. Thank you."
You're calling them prostitutes? Is this what you're doing?
No, I'm saying that they don't love him.
That's called acting, Andy, isn't that?
Right, that's why they're good actors. But if you ask Jennifer Aniston,
we were in a movie together. You know,
that was not a bad. I
didn't act repulsed by you the whole time. I did the.
Let me tell you something, my friend. Let me tell you something. Jennifer Aniston knows these movies suck because she's not stupid. She has to know these movies suck, but she goes, "I need the money, maybe." And then also, I'll pretend that I'm liking it because you couldn't hang around a douchebag like that too long without wanting to tell him, "You shut the fuck up. Stop buying Maseratis for Rob Schneider and fucking get a friend who isn't somebody up your ass." That's what he needed in his life, and he never got it. Thank you. Let's move on.
Okay.
I finally saw The Hard Way.
What is that? The John Waits movie? Wait.
Yeah. Now, Gina, Susan's sister, says that we saw it at Christmas time, but we didn't.
No, but you did. I think you saw it. You told me you saw it on this show.
No,
you talked about Bob Levitt's recommending it. Then you got it, and then you talked about seeing it.
I never saw it, and then so either I've forgotten that I saw it, and then Gina's right. I know I didn't see it because this is how I know I didn't see it. I had to have bought it. I finally bought it last night for $5. I've never bought it before.
There was a lie somewhere along the line, is all I'm saying.
Okay. But that's true. But what are we talking about? What is it?
We're talking about The Hard Way, the movie about John Waite.
It's really good.
That you've seen a few times now.
Oh, okay, here's the thing. I will bet you, and I'm going to go to, we can't go to Perugia anymore.
Yeah.
But I will bet you $10 that I never said, I've seen it, and here's my review of it.
I'm not willing to bet you that.
$5?
No, I don't want to bet anything.
Oh, because you don't like betting's bad, right?
But it's stupid, and it's gonna make work for somebody.
And then someone yells, Josh never paid me the $5 when I said I bet that Michael Tilson Thomas is not his birth name. I hate people who drink LaCroix like you do.
Yeah.
I hate it. You're trying to say, oh, because I'm drinking coffee or, oh, God, okay.
I did edit out a whole section of you talking about Michael Tilson Thomas being a black guy last week, though. So.
Stop it.
I did. I totally did.
Wait.
I edited it out.
Oh, I thought you were making a joke to say that I was talking disparagingly about a black person.
No, but you were referring to him as a black guy, which he's not.
He's on Miami Vice, right?
No.
Who's that guy? He's Michael Thomas. Tilson Thomas.
Michael Tilson Thomas is a conductor.
And he's black, right?
No.
I was playing the dumb guy who won't let it go.
Oh, yeah. But last week you were playing it big.
You know, this is not.
But I edited it out, so no one
not
will.
Worthy
so
of you.
no
This is not worthy
know.
of you. This is beneath you to be talking about. Why don't we just? How about we edit all of the silences on your side into room tone? The room tone. The J. Elvis Weinstein. I guess it was funnier in my head.
That happens
a lot, right?
That is what my silences are. Is room tone.
Or dog. Sometimes it's dog tone.
Sometimes it's dog tone, yes.
Anyway, here's what I'll say about that hardware, which when we solve it, and actually I want someone to solve it only because I don't want to do the work on it. If someone who listened to the show could do it, I know this is going to be cut out probably, but they could listen to the show and tell me, did I ever review the movie? So let's say that I didn't review the movie, or I did review the movie. It was really good, and the thing that was really good about it was it wasn't perfect documentary, but it was made during the lockdown.
Right.
So you really could excuse a lot of the things that they just couldn't. They just couldn't have done this during that time period. And the thing that was amazing was like, it's not a brilliantly shot thing. And they also had weird things that they shot, like him in concert. And like Susan pointed out, his face is all blown out. You can barely see anything. I said, well, I think they shot that from that thing and they didn't have great footage. And then they had the pandemic, but the interviews with him are absolutely astounding. And one of my favorite things he says is when he's talking about his career, he says, I don't want to be someone who shoots an arrow and then draws a bullseye around it. He wants to admit that there were ups and downs and that there were things that, but he also went through this whole thing. He was like, and I don't know this album. He goes, Temple Bar is absolutely my best album. And, I love it. Never sold anything. And he shows all these things that he had made that are out there. He goes, but what's true about it? They're on the internet. They're out there. He goes, it's all about the work. It's not about these things. And then he pauses and he goes, and if you believe that, I have a used car to sell you. So it was perfect because he was able to frame what he really meant, which was it is all about the work without denying that, yes, the fact that Chrysalis went out of business. First of all, Chrysalis ripped him and his band off because that was right in the middle of you never make any money because we're charging everything to you. We're charging everything back to you. So they made no money, and he made no money. I mean, it's just a terrible system the way it was set up, with the record companies.
Well, and plus videos crushed artists in that era too.
But he was part of the video thing.
No, he was. But
he was the first thing.
But
one of the first things.
Artists were forced to make videos, and then the cost of those videos was recoupable. Right.
But for example, one of these guys, his name is Ron Stone. I think. Have you heard of his name? Ron Stone, he's like a promoter or something like that.
No, not him.
He said he got the Babies. They hated their first album the way it was recorded. And it's just pretty brave things that he did. But the guy, Ron Stone, said as a promotion, he would say whatever the radio station was in that area, he would sell tickets for that price. So it would be 90 cents, or if it was 101, it would be $1 and a penny to see him, to drum. He drummed up tremendous excitement for the Babies, and then they charged that $600,000 back to the Babies.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Charged the money that they discounted?
Yes. That they didn't have in other words, they're giving away a full price ticket, but it's promotional at $2.
Right.
So they're charging them for what the full price ticket would have been. It's charging the band. Whatever they had to pay the theater, whatever they had to do was charged to the band. I know you could say it's, I know you're a big fan of that. I mean, obviously we know this is the history of music, Morris Levy and people fighting, and this is the history of labor in the world, but
the music isn't especially horrible, sleazy version of labor.
Yeah. Because you're, and movie business too. When you get I got points on the back, and then you never see the things.
But at least with the movie business, people get paid up front.
Mm-hmm. True. He was making $200 a week when he was working in the Babies for the 3 albums.
Yeah,
and he had to pay his. I think he had to pay his rent out of that. Maybe they paid for his rent. So it's good. I think it's good. It's also good that I'm out there watching stuff. I think that's exciting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hello?
When you say out
Don't
there.
Don't look at the clock. Don't look at the clock because I look at the clock.
When you say out there watching stuff, it kind of...
Yeah, I'm out there again. I'm mixing it up.
Right.
And now, how are things going with... you had a rough week last week. Or it was a busy week. Or it was an annoying week.
It was all of the above, I would say.
And how are things progressing now?
I'm optimistic for an easier week.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's good when it gets better.
Sure.
I don't like when it gets worse. It's like when we finally turn the corner on that, when we get into the black, on this podcast.
Right.
It's going to be so sweet. Right now, we're putting the hard work in. I'm editing every show. I'm sweating over every part of the production.
Right.
But we're not making any money. Bootlegs. The bootleg. I don't know if you're aware of this. People bootleg our podcast, and then you don't even have to do that.
Right.
You can get it just anywhere.
It really is.
That's all I got.
That's it?
I mean, that's not all I got in the world.
I understand. That's just.
But that's all I had on that.
That salvo, that particular sortie.
Well, I think there was one more thing I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember it, though. Sandler, The Hard Way, something. Oh, Sandler, The Hard Way, and that's, I guess, it.
That's it?
At least I bring stuff to the table.
I watched two things.
How about you?
I watched two things as well, I think.
I thought you were making fun of me.
I thought you were making fun of me.
Stop making fun of me. So what'd you watch?
I don't feel like talking about it. No, I'm just kidding. I actually worked most of the weekend, but I watched a disappointing Laker game, and I watched on Amazon Prime the Women Who Rock series, which is I think briefly on Amazon Prime, but it's an Epix product, and it's a good series. It was kind of
cool.
I mean, straight ahead style, doc style, but it was all about women in rock, and the interviews were all women in rock, so it wasn't dudes talking about women in rock. It was, So
it's just Amazon Prime?
Yeah, I think, but I'm not sure for how long it's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah. Amazon Prime, they seem like to give up sometimes, or not that they give up, or he doesn't care about it or something. It's like a hobby for him.
It seems like, I mean, I'm not exact. I mean, they're like half-heartedly in the streaming wars because it's
he owns everything,
because it's a
right?
loss leader for them in some ways,
Just like Amazon Music, they go join Amazon Music. Well, no, for the Amazon price that you pay for getting discounts, now you also get Amazon Music, not the unlimited, but pretty much you can get everything on Amazon Music as a loss leader. Podcasts.
Yeah, well, the podcasts don't cost them anything, but the
no, they doesn't cost them anything to offer them for free. Right. So it's like it helps in the process of making the money that they pay for things less. I don't know. Just he's weird. It's a weird thing with him because he's got his hands in everything, and he does some of the things extremely well. Like gets a chicken to you in 15 minutes with a drone.
Sure. That's like his best trick. That might be his best trick, actually. Chicken in a drone.
I had the rotisserie chicken delivered by drone.
Yeah.
And it was very good. It killed a young child on the street as it made the right into my house.
But fortunately, it landed on its body before it hit the ground. So there's no 3-second rule.
Oh, we have a fun. This is a fun world. A lot of people complain about it. It's a fun world. So many good things happening.
Like I say every day, thank God I'm not young.
You think it would be tough to be young?
It'd be tough to be young, and I think I'm just talking actuarially. It's not. It doesn't get better.
I'm not sure. I know what you're saying is depressing, but I don't get the whole import of it. We're going to die soon.
If we're lucky, is my point.
How do you see it going? First of all, don't get too depressing because this is what they did when they were making movies in the 30s. They didn't want it to be too depressing. People wouldn't watch it. They wanted to see Busby Berkeley create a geometric thing with flesh.
Hey, don't bring your Hays Code bullshit to me.
Do you know what's amazing, though, Josh? I have never, until I got Books on Tape, which opened up a whole world to me.
Books.
Books on Tape. I have never.
I'm just saying that's the whole world that opened up to you. Books.
It's true because I was a English literature major who stopped reading. I can't read. I just cannot read long things anymore. It's a condition that I have that has nothing to do with my abilities. I'm one of the best readers in the world.
As long as someone's saying it to me.
No, I never was even a good reader, and it took me the reason why I was an English literature major was that I fell in love with specific novels. It was no mistake that I fell in love with Ernest Hemingway, people who wrote short, like F. Scott Fitzgerald. I fell in love with modern kind of literature. I know nothing. I know you know Chaucer. You know Middle English. I know nothing. I read the New Yorker and to learn some things about the past. Did I have a point going in?
Ever since I started reading audiobooks, it's opened up a whole new world to me, and
Okay, here's the thing.
Right.
I did not know anything. I mean, the basic years that silent film went to talkie film, and when and then the fact that now I can imagine, but I never really got the full import of these silent film actors who didn't want. But people actually saying, some of the studios were saying it's not going to last. People don't want this.
Right.
The talking, right?
Yeah.
So, but when you see that, and then you also see just how the movie business started, where there were these things called state. Like there was Edison tried to tie everybody up into this horrible conglomerate. I forgot the name of it, but they would just hold a patent and they wouldn't allow anybody to make movies. And that's why they moved out to California, was to be away from this, because they were using states' rights, which later was used like by right to work acts and stuff like that, used to crush labor. But in this case, they were trying to unravel the
monopoly.
The thing that Edison was, yeah. Right. So it's just, I just think it's great. You knew all these things.
Also, they could shoot year round. Also, they could shoot year round out here.
That's right. Except at first, they very rarely shot outdoors because it looked so bad. So like all the Columbia, okay, here's what I didn't know: that the Columbia movies, if you told me MGM movies are like this movie's like that, I might remember it in the moment.
Right. But
now I'm able to put together that Columbia had these kind of movies. It doesn't fit completely into a puzzle like that, but it's interesting to me. You know, that Harry Cohn does seem like one of the worst people. That's the book I'm reading now. He does seem like one of the worst people you could imagine.
Yeah.
But he had, and he was very himself.
Continuing on your shithead mogul kick?
No. You know, I love the way
you are. Sumner Redstone, Harvey Weinstein, Harry Cohn.
No, but I'm also the next one is going to be the Jews who invented Hollywood. I'm fascinated with this time period.
Better than the Jews who are destroying everything kick you're on. Well, Redstone's not a Jew, is he? Is Sumner Redstone?
Yes, he is.
Oh, okay.
He is a Jew. It was Redberg or something.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't even Redstone. It was Rossberg or something like that.
Sure.
He changed it to Redstone. Don't say sure like I'm not right. I'm right on this.
No, I'm saying sure.
Okay.
That sounds like how it goes, is what I meant.
Yeah. No, I know that you somehow, here's the image you're trying to present of me. I hate everything and I hate people, so I can't watch. I happen to love.
No, the image that I was presenting is that this is the third book in a row that's about a shithead Jew mogul. That's all my only point.
First of all, someone said there were so many Coens working there. Robert Benchley said that you expected to see trees or something, pine cones or something, whatever. So he had all these Jews who were working
City of Flowers, there's a rose and bloom on every corner.
Anyway, I thought this is the way I end these things. I'm enjoying myself. You can continue on. I just think it's interesting. I don't understand people who know the breadth of history. Will never be able to be one of those people, but I think it'd be nice if I could know a lot about the particular field that I'm in.
Yeah.
So that to me is fascinating. I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
No problem with that.
Well, I think it's the whole, you think book on tape, this asshole thinking he's reading. He's not even fucking reading. He's walking. This asshole.
That part I'm guilty of. I was giving you shit.
Well, right. I know.
That part I attended.
This is a guy who who thinks that he tied his shoes in a lovely, cute way when he tied it that way because he couldn't learn and he gave up. So that's what you're thinking. This guy is lucky to have how this guy ever got a career in anything.
I'm surprised this guy could breathe through his nose, for fuck's sake.
Oh, because I'm a mouth breather.
Breather, yes.
Anyway, I'm done with that. And I'm going to tell you something right now.
Yeah.
This will not stand.
I don't know. I can't stand it.
You're such an asshole. You really are an asshole sometimes. But a funny asshole.
I'll take it.
I think I'm giving up on my crusade. Wanna take all my dilemmas and make to lemonade. I and presidents. Can I come to your defense? You don't have the evidence, and I've got my faith now. I don't need yours. You're a revolutionary on an ordinary shore. Have you ever found what you're looking for? You're a revolutionary on a very ordinary shore. Ooh, Did you think that you might be forever young? It's just that pain sounds like truth when it's sung. Doorway to your dreams may not lead you where you want, but you can't sneak through the back door. What won't fit through the front? And I'm done with paranoia. It's you they're out again. Made a lot of guesses, but haven't been right yet. When you sleep with one eye open, you don't get much rest. And a good night's sleep may be what you need to see that you are blessed. Well, I've got my faith and I don't need yours. You're a revolutionary on an ordinary shore. Have you ever found what you're looking for? You're a revolutionary on a very ordinary shore. Ooh,
It's 65 degrees downtown Los Angeles. I just checked with my weather bug.
Fantastic.
Oh, Josh, why am I hunched over the mic?
Because you're an old Jew.
Are you? That's bothering me. Can you put it on for completely? Because I'll start to go hi. No, you're like a torturing guy. You could have been my brother if you weren't younger than me. But you know what you know what my brother used to do, right? This has been told a million times. Can you see this?
No.
How come I can't see myself? Oh.
I'm not touching you, is he doing?
Okay. No, it's worse. Robert, stop that. Robert, I can still hear that. Then he looks you in the eye.
Yeah.
Looks you in the eye. Looks down at the thing. Robert, you're not, and then he would say, you cannot hear that, can you? You can't.
So he was just tapping on the table?
Yeah.
Okay.
Robert, stop it. Robert, I can still hear it. But the thing when he would look at you, deny, in other words, look at you.
Like he was,
as he
like
raised,
he was testing your hearing almost.
I don't know what he was doing. You know all the classics. He told me when I would, he goes, you know how when you go to sleep and your hair is all messed up, and you wake up if you wake up with your, and you know how you go to sleep with your hair straight and it's all messed up in the morning? Go to sleep with your hair messed up. And I swear to God, when you wake up in the morning, it's going to be all combed.
Yeah.
I tried that. This was a classic.
Well, you seem like a pretty easy mark, I have to say. Especially
This was a classic. Me and my brother talking. What do you think, Andy? Do you believe in God? I think I kind of do. Yeah, I think I do too. 20 minutes later. Hey, in front of the friends. Hey, Andy, do you believe in God? Yeah, you do. You stupid schmuck.
Wow.
Here's another one. Ready? My dad's in the
Give
bathroom.
you enough faith to hang yourself.
My father's in the bathroom. Robert, into the bathroom. Father, I know that you have told me to not hit Andrew, but he has been bothering me, and he's provoking me. I do not want to hit him, but he...
What was the age spread? What's the... I'm sure it's the
3
same.
years.
It's the same still, but...
I know, almost 3. I just realized this. I always used to do it by school, but he was born in February. I was born in October, so it's almost 3 years.
So 2.5, two and a half. Okay.
Right.
So yeah, that's still a close enough spread for physical violence.
But he was so much bigger than that. I used to think he was a giant. I swear to God, I used to think my dad's a giant. He's 6 feet. My brother's almost as tall as that giant.
Was your dad 6 feet?
No, he was more like 5'11", and my brother was more like 5'10".
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Well, you saw my father when he'd already gone complete slumping and everything. He wasn't even trying then.
He wasn't Full Metal Larry.
What did he say during my wedding toast? Parenthetically, I will never forget that as long as I live, that someone used the word parenthetically in a toast. Do you remember him saying it? How can you remember these things?
I do not. I'd love to pretend I did, but I couldn't back it up with the second fact.
I know, that's sad. It would be weird if you did remember too many specifics from the wedding.
Yeah.
I should remember them.
I remember shit from my wedding pretty well, but not even everything.
Your wedding was a Cow de Sol.
No, it was not.
Who am I mixing you up with?
I don't know.
Your wedding...
Someone I wasn't invited to.
Your reception was at Barney's Beanery, which everyone was like, what the fuck is this? It's like a homophobic place. He said, we always loved coming to Barney's Beanery. You got married. This is true, though. You got married in Griffith Park at the observatory, correct?
No, it's not correct. It was on the ponies in Griffith Park.
I'm delightful today.
You really are.
When is it going to turn?
You're a breath of some kind of air. Oh, wait, there's a laugh cap on today? There's a laugh cap? I can't live with that.
I want my wife to hear me laugh or have fun. Oh. Imagine if I portrayed my wife that way. Oh, no, don't hit me. Like that. No. She almost hit me, Josh.
It plays that way anyway, I got to tell you.
Oh, you fucking scumbag. Ooh, that was too fast.
Wow. It was
too hard?
It was really like you were saving that one.
Okay, before we get to the letters, we've got lots and lots. Oh, I just came up with a good song. We've got letters, but we've got letters. Try that. We've got lots and lots of letters. Letters. And then I go, Paul, have you opened up the thing or is the thing closed?
Yeah, I got a paper cut on my tongue, Dave.
I can't do Dave. You do Paul very well.
You're doing Ed McMahon and Paul Schaefer.
I know, I do. Yeah, big, what is it? What's the way it goes, small, may Lord, holy man, make hoo-hoo on your ha-ha, like that.
May a pregnant yak break water in your jacuzzi.
Life is good.
You had to gather yourself. That was good.
Okay, I will tell you, I'll make it a quick story.
All right.
Of maybe one of my most idiotic moments on Twitter. It happened last night.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay. And you have to realize this is not caused by anything I did wrong, except for what I told myself a few days ago, don't engage. And I think I should go to don't block. Right? I should go there.
Yeah.
But I can't. I can't stop me.
No, I think block before you engage is really the way to do it.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
So this guy says something, and then I think he's saying, like, I think he's saying to the guy above me, don't you dare use the word anti-Semitic in relation to Ron DeSantis. You prostitute the word. When you're like one of those guys, you prostitute the word. And so I say, simply, because I was in the mood, and it was the day that Trump was indicted, I said, block this troll, right? So then when I'm out in the world, I see the guy responding back. This is the second part of the Kindler style that everyone loves, the jumping to the conclusion.
Right.
He goes, I can't believe this guy. And he's Mort, Mort blocked me. I can't believe it. I wasn't trolling. I was giving my opinion honestly. So now I got completely confused. And I thought that I had misunderstood that he wasn't directing it at me. So I go, oh, I'm so sorry. My apologies. I was jammed to the exact wrong conclusion. And he goes, well, you have a wonderful night now.
He patted you on the head on Twitter.
Right. And then afterwards, I said, I did a wait, what with him? I said, wait, what? Because it turns out that he was directing it at a Jewish, well, I'm Jewish. Everyone in the thread was Jewish. Maybe he isn't. Directing it to the Jewish person above me who just said, I can't believe that, what a shock that DeSantis went with the Soros crap.
Right.
He was reacting to that. You prostitute the concept of anti-Semitism by claiming this and that. So I had to go back and say, wait, what? You're in there. Wait, what? I was wrong. And I just basically said, I'm not going to block you this time, but I definitely was right previously. Here's the thing I'm realizing about that. My thought is always that this is how it happens. Tonight on Andy is out of control. Watch his behavior on Twitter. He's
bringing out words like dare and shame.
But the truth is that I feel very good now because I think I got everything out of my system. I think Trump's indicted. I feel very good about Trump being indicted.
Do you?
Well, I don't feel good about the fact that, like, even the thing this guy was claiming he was that I called him a troll about. There's probably millions of people who are still saying just because someone references the fact that George Soros did indeed give money, that doesn't mean there's millions of people like this. I think they're DeSantis voters, is what I'm thinking.
Well, I don't think anyone knows who George Soros actually is, and so it's just become a totem for rich evil Jew.
Right. I know who he is only because he used to set up raves outside of. No, he didn't set up a rave. He set up tables outside of raves to test drugs. He's a hero to me, in other words.
Yes.
And I've never heard if he goes, someone found out, look, he did give to Alvin Bragg. I'm glad he did give. He says he doesn't know who Alvin Bragg is. I don't care. I don't care. Give or don't give. He should give. It's funny to me.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know a Jew gave to him? A Jew gave to this guy that you think is so great?
Right.
I don't think like DeSantis is so stupid. I think he is stupid. He doesn't even know when he's saying Soros that he probably does know. He's went to Harvard.
Yeah, no, he knows what he's doing.
But how can you go to Harvard and be evil? Oh, Andy's the first person on earth. I don't understand. You have higher education. You go to a school like Yale. You would have to come out going, you know what? I understand a lot more about life now, right?
How do you come out of Harvard evil? You major in it.
Don't say that about B.J. Novak. I mean, that's ridiculous. He's not evil. Who's the guy who's really evil? Dershowitz, who went to Harvard.
Ah, true.
Could you imagine being in his class?
And he actually went and taught there and made more evil people.
Yes, he taught people.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, and then the other people, the other guy said to me, he said this, would you be willing to say this same thing about Netanyahu? And then people are finding tweets from me from 2012. He's like Hitler. And I was like, thank you, everyone. I thought I wasn't going to be able to find that now with the blue. Have you seen the ads for the blue checks? It's there. It's discounted $113 if you pay for the whole year.
Fantastic.
It is. You know, I hate to be like a comedian. You know, you're in trouble, but when you have a slash sign on the original price, that's what they have. Slash.
Is that true that they actually discounted the full year blue check?
Well, they claim, although Elon Musk is a liar, so I don't believe him, is $113 divided by 12 cheaper than $7 a month?
I don't know. No,
I think it's more.
It's not. It's not.
Well, maybe the $7 a month is the lower line where you get discounts off of Starbucks and things like that. You don't get the whole.
Right. You still have commercials.
And here's the other thing, Josh, and I'm sure you're aware of this as much as I am as we close out Twitter. Every 99% of the times when you check on someone's blue check who's saying something disgusting, it's almost always a subscriber. I'm not saying they're all that way.
Right.
I'm just saying that's what I've been finding out.
Yes, I think that's true.
What is the gray check?
I think that's institutional. The great
Yeah.
check.
Well, Josh,
All I know is that I've had a kidney taken out. I can handle a blue check to me.
bile. I think this is great, but where are we going to go? Is it going to be Spouty Bill?
I don't know.
Are we going to Spoutable?
I don't know. I downloaded my archives this week though, so.
Oh, I did. So they didn't erase it on then they said do it before this date. I did it a month ago.
Yeah.
So you can still do it?
As of earlier this week, you could.
Okay, I'm going to try that again.
You can get your latest salvos in your archive.
Oh my God. Salvo. That should be my name. Isn't that a murderer? Oh, they thought he was a murderer.
Just Salvo.
Salvatore. Yeah, and he wasn't, I heard. We don't know.
I don't know. Because I don't really know what you're talking about. There's Albert
DeSalvo, who was the original Boston, but I think he was, what's the word when you knock, they say, okay, you're free to go.
Innocent?
Well, no, actually it's not innocent. It's not guilty.
Right.
No, I mean, I hate to go into blowhardy, but they never say guilty.
Unless it's Gwyneth Paltrow. She's innocent.
Now, did you follow that trial?
Not really, no.
But that trial seems creepy. I mean, it seems like what I thought she's claiming, he's claiming she slapped him in the face.
And then stabbed him in the chest with a ski pole.
Right, and because she says he was pressing up against her. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
You really weren't following this. I was following more than that.
I did follow this. He said that she was in the way on the ski thing, so he had to run into her. Isn't that what he says?
I don't think so, because that would have ruined the right of way rule. The downhill person has the right of way.
But he was saying.
So he says she skied into him. She says he skied, or whatever. They each said they skied into each other.
Yes, and then she said she slapped him. I can't believe Gwyneth. I mean, maybe at a bad day when Goop is down a few points.
Sure. Is Goop public?
I'm so jealous of her relationship with the Coldplay guy. I wanted to be that Coldplay guy so bad. I wanted to be in Shakespeare in Love.
So you're jealous that she's consciously uncoupled with him?
No, it's just the whole thing. No, I'm jealous in the past for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Not really. I have no interest in it at all. I never was that attracted to Gwyneth Paltrow, so therefore nothing I say about it is important.
Well, I can just say he didn't fix her.
He didn't fix her.
It's a little Coldplay reference for you kids out there.
Oh. Not only did it go over my head, but I noticed that it was at an altitude of 40,000 feet.
It actually went over your head and then made faces behind your back.
We're a delightful couple of nuts.
Aren't we? No, I'm asking, aren't we?
No, I said aren't. I pass your house so often.
I like it. It's
longingly.
so much better than you coming in.
No. You don't hear the when I do the thing when I try the door. You never heard that?
The jiggling.
Yeah. Cheat. You hear the dogs bark. I run away.
That's true of every dog, though.
I just want to have your life.
It's quite a life. It's quite a life, my friend.
How come I'm not the mayor of the town now with all the walking around and there's old man Kindler?
I don't know. That's what we used to call Gruber the mayor of Burbank.
Oh, that's right. Was he a walker?
He was a walker. He still's a walker. Doesn't own a car. Hasn't owned a car in 20 years.
Does it slow down his smoking? Boop, 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 boop. Cigarettes. Has he stopped smoking? No, probably not.
I doubt it. I seriously doubt it.
I hope he lives to 120 years old, because if he does, I wish I had done what he did, which was smoke to 120 years old.
Sure.
Because smoking, as you don't know, is a fun habit. Luckily, I never got the downsides of smoking, because I was only in college. So in college, I was like, yeah, that's a good point, Shmimbi. Yeah, I did really feel like, you have to admit, when you smoke a cigarette, you do feel like you're pondering more. It's just a good pondering
I do,
thing.
and I'm a professional ponderer, so really.
You would have been good with the pipe.
Well, I'm good with a certain kind of pipe, but not that.
Right. But the pipe smoke tastes bad, even if it's good, right?
It's not that bad, but it's not...
Is Swisher Sweets good? I bought a case of Swisher Sweets.
It's room filling. It's a room filling kind of smoke.
I remember when I smoked a Tipperello when I was like 9 in a desperate attempt to smoke.
Yeah.
I smoked everything. When I was a little kid, I was like, I must have heard a commercial. Hey, kids, make sure you break into the tobacco.
I have several nice cigars that I've had now for 20 years because I just stopped smoking cigars because they were dumb.
Okay, when you was that Cuban?
I have a few Cubans.
And you never
my mother of all people, smuggled Cubans back from Costa Rica for me, which was like unbelievably unlike her.
So like she could have gotten in trouble?
To knowingly break a rule was so not my mother.
But what do you think she didn't know?
No, she totally knew. She just wasn't worried.
Your mom's like a criminal. Was a criminal.
Weird blurb in her life.
Now, but okay. You have a better palate or whatever you call it for cigarettes, and I mean, I don't have a palate for it. I tried cigars and I did not enjoy it. Did you ever enjoy cigars?
Yeah, I mean, there's some that I enjoyed, but it was most.
But you can tell the difference for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like Scotch. You can tell a good one from a bad one. But it's like, I don't know. First of all, I was way too addicted to cigarettes, so it was just like,
yeah, well,
I literally had to like stop smoking to have smoking a cigar to have a cigarette in the middle because of all the non-inhaling, you know.
So Letterman is the guy who actually he did stop smoking and he did continue cigars. But that's probably bad every day.
Well, you know, I think if you smoke a cigar once a day,
it's good.
It's not good, but it's probably not the thing that's going to kill you.
What if you put a pot smoke in your lungs every day? I don't. But I'm wondering.
Well, then you're the control group between us.
Do we have so many questions today that we better get to them, or we're going to short shrift ourselves?
I'm not really worried. I'm really not.
You are so calm today. You're like loosey-goosey.
Well, you know, Trump's about to be in jail. No.
Yes, sirree.
No,
yes,
I'm really not that excited about this, just because it's not the crimes I want to see him go down for yet.
Right.
I love that he got indicted. I don't love that we're going to be in Trump world more because of it.
You're right.
But I do really want to see him go down for the crimes that were actually abuses of power.
Right, but you know, I resonated with this argument. People yesterday going, this idea.
I'm not saying they shouldn't have indicted on this one.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Some people are saying they should pick and choose.
I'm not at all saying that this isn't
good,
worthy of indictment. Yeah. And nor do I think it's.
Did you go away?
Nor do I think it's.
What happened to you?
You froze.
Are you in here?
Can you hear me?
Oh my God, Josh, you're frozen.
Can you hear me?
Josh, oh my goodness, now you're going to claim I'm frozen, isn't he? Let me tell you something that I really do believe is true about you. You are a bum.
We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back. I need now.
Now we're good. We're back. Are you on the phone?
Yeah, but I have been for a while.
Oh, you're using the hotspot?
Yes.
But remember, I told you about that. You didn't know anything about that. And you were saying, like, Andy, how can I do it if everything goes down? I said, listen to me. Listen to me straight. Listen to me carefully.
Why do we need to spend time on this kind of fantasy? Why do we need it? Why?
Because you didn't do the work when I told you, because I have a small penis and you have a smaller penis. Oh. I'm very sorry I revealed the fact.
That's okay. You still choked on it.
I like to talk about my little penis. It no longer works. I like to talk about my little penis. I take it to the park. No one sees it. My little penis is the greatest thing going. I'm no longer a threat to women. Hey, that old man.
No longer a threat.
That's bad. That old man, he's no threat. He's got a Ken situation in his pants with a knick-knack, packy-whack. I'm a little batty. Let's go to when I go to the thing.
I keep having the song parody in my head is Mugshot Tuesday, Trump's there, hooray.
He should have worn a sweater.
Please say he's a felon.
You know what? I am feeling so loosey-goosey.
Charges they read, not guilty he pleads, 'cause he's so Machiavellian.
You know what's sad is that there are so many things that start out with thought.
Yeah.
That I can't even get there just putting thought in there.
Well.
I have to add the underscore.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you knew we were going to do this. You couldn't have done it before the fucking show.
It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show.
I wonder if it's going to be Pickles. I wonder if it's going to be someone else. It could always be Pickles. It could be somebody else. Pickles says, I like the phrase from hunger. I like that one too. Am I using it right here? Some of the regular contributors to the production were from hunger. I think anyway you use it, it means the same thing. The question is, are you using it appropriately?
All right.
So I would say I haven't used it in a long. I don't think I've ever used from hunger.
It's never been part of my world, but I've known about it, and I also like it. But I think it's more. The only reason that's not the correct usage of it is just that it's rarely used at the end of a proper sentence like that.
Right.
It's more like an aside, like, yeah, it's from hunger.
It's from hunger, that guy.
Yeah.
That guy doesn't sound right. That guy's
schmuck,
from hunger.
That schmuck.
That schmeckle, that putz. I really love cursing people out with Yiddish. You putz, DeSantis.
You schmagegi, apparently, as we've learned.
Does that also mean a putz?
That's what Mr. Barry Golub says, yes.
Who?
Barry Golub, friend of mine and the show.
I love Barry Golub.
Yes,
wait, how come he's not mine? Am I following him? I think I am.
I don't know.
Well, I should be.
You should.
Why am I angry now?
He doesn't tweet much. He really doesn't.
Dan Marsh says, hey guys, how does both of you having a brother influence your friendship and the dynamic of the show? Well, have you been listening, Dan Marsh, right?
He just said earlier, I'm like a big brother to him, but younger.
Yeah.
It relates in the sense that my brother was older than me and also emotionally fragile while we were growing up. So I learned some skills.
Wait, my brother was emotionally fragile?
No, my brother was. So,
I got you.
Yeah. He's better now.
My brother's faster than your brother. My brother did a 10 flat 100.
My brother did not.
Yeah. So fuck that.
I bet my brother didn't even do a chin up.
Why the anger towards your family?
Your brother can't beat up my brother, but he can buy and sell him. So,
which seems to be preferred. Peruche. You see what I did there? Peruche. I didn't go the Peruche.
That's
no.
Good. It made you sound old and out of touch.
Peruche is on fire. A few eps ago. Oh, thank you, Peruche, with the lingo. Andy mentioned one scene from White Lotus he didn't like in particular. Yes. Was it the hotel manager taking a dump in a suitcase? Yes, that was a scene I didn't like, but I also think it was effective because it made my skin crawl.
Excuse me. Soiler alert. See what I did?
Did you come up with that previously?
No, it was right now.
That's excellent.
In the au courant.
P.S. Back in India after 3 years. Oh, episodes come out late afternoon on Mondays. Putting it on for a jet lag nap. So now, back in India, I have nothing. Do you have anything? Back in India stuff?
Showing the new boy around, the new kid, waving him around like so much treasure.
How come in the process of this show, he has had a family, he's raised kids, and we're still doing nothing? I mean, you've done something, but this guy is moving along in his life.
It's not fair. He's closer to a life. We're closer to death. What the hell? Well,
I just thought today that I really, and I'm not lying about this, I do think I could live to 120, even without any of the bells and whistles. No, I'm going to be dead tomorrow. Would you miss me?
I would, if it was tomorrow.
BD West says, back in the day, I would watch Jim and Tammy Baker purely for entertainment purposes. The highlight was Miracle Weekend, when Jim double and triple sold timeshares to their Christian Disneyland, picking up a quick $7 million. Have either of you experienced a miracle? I believe in miracle. Oh, wait.
I believe in miracles.
Oh, what's the other one? I believe in blue, boo, 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 boo. If you believe in boogie and miracles. What's that one?
I don't know.
It's Jefferson Starship. If you believe in miracles, then I've got one for you. Come on.
I'm on board. The Starship.
You know what you just did? yoga pods.
Ah.
Because that's what the guy said. They said they aren't. They don't say they aren't. They aren't. That's what they say. They don't say the whole word. This guy was from Australia. Don't fuck with me. No.
No. Yeah.
They look like they're just but they aren't. I still can't get the pants because I sound like American there.
You do.
But that's what they're doing. They're using my pronunciation against me. I'm such a fucking moron. You take over with the questions. I'm so tired.
Have I ever experienced a miracle? I'm still pondering the question. Well, I mean, when my kidney cancer photobombed my colon problem, that was
that's a miracle. Yeah. I mean, nobody has to say whether it's like we're saying God caused it. We're just saying it's a miracle. And why can't we have that feeling?
Well, because I'm dead inside. That's why I can't have it.
Yeah, but part of you goes, what a great thing that happened.
Right.
But there's another part of you that says, thank you, Lord. Oh, Lord. Shema Yisrael. Stop me. I don't know. I'm out of tune. Okay, I stopped myself.
Okay, good.
What were you going to do to stop it?
I was going to strike you with lightning.
Oh! Hey, God, here's me as Abraham. God, what the fuck? I killed my first son. I ran to kill him. I couldn't wait to kill him.
That was before I asked you.
Oh my God. Well, I just wanted to help. I thought I was doing something that you wanted me to do. Boy, is my face red, God. Oh man, you won't even play God.
Who am I to play God? Richard Cole says, hi, Spike. I'm sorry I didn't prove.
Who's Spike?
Oh, stop with the bit. Hi, Spike. I'm sorry. Oh, this is just him bitching about you, bitching about his thing. Yeah. I'm sorry I didn't proofread and edit my tweet for clarity last week. You figured it out anyway because you're smart. Thanks.
Richard, I like that you wrote this in. I don't know where Josh is at. His anger comes from. He's mad at you for writing a lovely reply. But I thank you.
Johnny Whoop says, man, is the weather nuts or what? What's the temperature in, say, downtown Los Angeles?
Do you have the weather bug up now?
I don't know. I have the weather bug up my ass.
65 degrees downtown Los Angeles. Coming up in a half hour, we'll be giving away some Aerosmith tickets. Those bad boys will be coming down to the Verizon Dome for 60 cents.
Well finished.
How about yesterday? Yesterday was crazy.
It was.
For L.A.
It was.
Thunder, lightning.
The way you love me is frightening.
Right. That's what I thought. And it was thunder, lightning. Then it would be sunny, raining, sunny, raining. It was great.
Thunder, lightning was kind of cute, too, the way you said that.
Who did that song? I say thunder. Who? Lightning. Man, it was crazy and frightening.
I think you better knock, talk, 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 talk.
Bad Company.
Wilson Pickett, maybe?
Oh, okay. Good. He's great. Dan Marr says, Josh, how many of the stereotypical Minnesota activities did you take part in growing up? Did you hunt, ice fish, snowmobile, eat lutefisk, which is a reference to how many Swedish people there are in Minnesota? Because I dated a Swedish lady, and her family was all from Minnesota.
Yes, but the lutefisk is Norwegian.
Okay, but my Swedish girlfriend introduced it to me as a Swedish delight.
Okay, well, I can imagine it being pan-Scandinavian.
I don't know. You lost me with the second thing you said.
I have done most of the things on this list. I have done, except for hunting. I've never hunted. I ice fished a couple times. It's super dumb. Super dumb. I've snowmobiled a couple times. It's pretty fun.
I snowmobiled once. I loved it.
I've eaten lutefisk once. It's very bad.
Horrible.
It's very, very bad.
It's transparent fish.
Yes, because it's soaked in lye. Before
No. Please tell me what you're really saying. It can't be. Can't you? Doesn't that kill you? Oh, you're joking.
After that.
But it tastes that way.
It's the horrible jelly they put on it kills the lye.
I don't want to make generalizations, but I don't think the Swedish people care about food.
I think that's clear. It's very clear.
They're too severe.
Yes. So I did some of that stuff. I fished some, but I was not a typical Minnesotan. I talk about that in my act quite a bit, I think.
Neither one of us are Bear Grylls Well, actually, both of us are Bear Grylls because we would stay in a hotel instead of being in the wild. In that part of Bear Grylls. Is that what you say his name?
I can't Bear Grylls.
We all have words. They are funny when you use them in a kooky way. Tweet, 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 the twiddly-dee, the tweet, 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 the twiddly-dee, do, tweet, whoo,
How long will the sight gag last?
As long as you let it. Tweet Bahara says when Ringo sings...
No, you skipped it. You skipped his first
Oh,
one.
Tweet Bahara says, well, he has two. That's not right. Another Moon Tower Comedy Festival here in Austin and no Andy. Not even buying a wristband this year. Tweet, I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart. This does bother me. I'm on the verge of getting back out there, but I'm not ready. Who the fuck cares?
But now it's just because of his act.
And Tweet Bahara follows it up with, when Ringo sings, every one of us has all we need, is the Beatles version of repeat to yourself that it's just a show and I should really just relax? I don't get this really. Is it about Ringo singing?
You're not a fan of my work or my history, so. That's a reference to the Mystery Science Theater theme song.
I'm not familiar with that show.
I know.
I'm sorry.
I know it hurts my feelings. That's okay. I just being honest.
How come you look like your feelings were in another part of the room?
They are. They actually are.
That was good. I never saw such a sweet smile from you when you were telling me that your feelings were hurt. All right, you're going to the next one because I'm doing everything today.
I know. You're carrying me, and it's no easy task. BD West says Upstart Crow, led by David Mitchell's brilliant comic portrayal of William Shakespeare on BritBox and Canopy, is utterly sublime. The icing on the cake, though, is a character that openly mocks Ricky Gervais right down to the horrendous cackle. It's a proper flogging.
I just retweeted that.
That's Upstart Crow on Canopy and BritBox.
Send me a link, right?
Do you have BritBox or Canopy?
Oh. No, I don't have either one of them. Do you have BritBox, right?
I don't.
I love it, though. Okay, Thought Spiral asks, got a question? You see how funny I am? Stephen Elton Yates claims to give speeches to married couples before they go on their honeymoon. Stephen Elton Yates says, this year, Orthodox Easter, I thought he was Jewish.
I love what you did with that.
This year, Orthodox Easter is a week later than regular Easter. This means mark down Easter candy for the Orthodox. What's the best part of the Jewish holidays for you guys?
I think for me, it's the way they pass by virtually unnoticed.
When I was a boy and I got to sing Manish Tana, I did enjoy it because I was the center of attention, and I did get drunk on the overly sweet dessert wine.
Yeah.
So that's probably my favorite, and the afikomen where
it's
you
not
can make
dessert
fun.
wine. It's kosher wine.
Fortified wine. It's fortified wine.
Yes.
It's fortified wine.
Yes.
What did I say?
You said on the
dessert wine.
Dessert wine. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's not really dessert wine.
I'm sorry. I've told this a million times. Where's the one where they have the thing outside and it's the festival? Is it Purim? No, it's not Purim. It's the festival of
Sukkot.
Yes, and one time as a little boy, I ate challah bread with apples, challah bread with honey and apples, and it was just great.
Okay, but apples and honey is Rosh Hashanah.
Okay, well I'm lying. First of all, there's two things that could be going on. I lie, and I embellish.
Sure. I think that felt more like a lie.
Okay. Yes, I'm writing that down.
If those are my choices, I'm going to go lie because it wasn't that embellished.
Well, I read this thing in the New Yorker about this famous writer who wrote a book called Losing My Spanish. It's like a famous book. That was his one book that was really famous. But he absolutely, his whole life, made up lies. He just couldn't tell the truth, even though he was a brilliant writer and all this kind of stuff. And it's amazing to me that, I mean, I'm not describing. It's called The Magic Realism of This Guy. So if you ever read the article. Christopher Citro says, my friend who works in a grocery told me...
Was it George Santos that you were talking about?
You sent me that thing before the show. That is the most delightful thing. That does look like a parody. Like, that does look like Fred Armisen. Not Fred Armisen, but whoever.
Yeah. George
Armisen.
Santos doing his Go Mets tweet. Just wanted you to know you're on the same team.
And him is Keith, and then Keith Hernandez.
Sure.
My friend who works in a grocery
Enough
told
to make
me,
a Yankees fan, right?
Not that bad.
All right.
My friend who works in a grocery store.
This is Christopher Citro's question.
Yeah, Christopher Citro says, my friend who works in a grocery told me horror stories, and now I'll never eat from an open Olive Bar again as long as I live. Anything you won't do anymore because of someone with inside knowledge told you, drink from an in-room hotel coffee maker, for example. All of those things make me nervous. I can't read?
Your cadence reading things makes me nervous.
What's wrong say? What's wrong say with speech say?
It's like someone who's pumping the accelerator while they're driving.
What problem have you? Speech? You want to ask it again?
No, but
Okay.
I just needed to chime in.
Yeah. Well, I get nervous. I hate the things like these. I don't think these are healthy.
You're a professional actor, Andy, for God's sakes. Come on.
I'm sorry.
I intuitively feel that way about the open Olive Bar, I have to say.
And in-room coffee things, I hate using the in-room.
I don't use the in-room coffee ever, mostly because it's always bad.
Right.
And I mean, there's definitely those like those local news black light on the hotel bedspread stories that make you turn it down.
Well, it's so stupid because why don't you just request a room without a black light?
I know.
I'm a funny man. It's all in the delivery. DiGiorno.
The biggest horror, the horror story, the one that this is tangential. But one of the most harmful insights for me was always Martin Mull's showbiz is just high school with money. Because it's just like so desperately true. And it's always there in my head. It's just like it's always there, and it's always demoralizing to me. But but what I've realized now is like it's expanded to just the world is now high school with money. Congress is high school with money. The Senate,
yes.
It's just like it's.
It can't get better than that on a certain level, as I was saying.
Yeah, it can't. But it has hurt my enthusiasm for my career. That one saying.
Take over. I mean, do I have to do everything?
Please. Scott Allen says, Josh, how giddy is Andy right now about the indictment and whatnot? And then it's a poll. Off the rails, fairly, or not as much as I expected. I didn't think he'd be giddy. I didn't think he'd be giddy. But
I did say off the rails.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
You voted right now?
Yes.
I bet you're not off the rails about it.
Oh, I think isn't that very happy?
Well, how giddy are you? Completely. I mean, you're not off the rails. Means you're
could knock me
out
over with a feather.
Yeah,
you could knock me over with a feather. Everything's delightful.
I would say he's fairly giddy.
You're right. I hate to correct you. I hate to agree with you. A third Jew, which is still great, unless it's an anti-Semite account. In episode 300, I was so impressed by the way Josh took care of Andy when he broke down talking about struggling with the cameo for Robert. Oh, Rich Brotherton's friend. Sorry. The kindness, compassion, and genuine love was so touching and heartwarming. We should all have a friend like J. Elvis. I really agree with that.
True.
No, I don't stop it. You did that. I'm going to retweet it. You. It's not that you've never done it before, but in 2 times, you really. The first time was way worse.
Yeah, that was a genuine.
You talked me off.
That was a crisis. That was a true crisis point for you as a person. This was just a little mini meltdown.
But I remember that and I don't remember much of the shows, but I remember that. So I thank you again for that.
Well, my pleasure. I'm happy to be your friend, like J. Elvis.
It's so sweet, and because it really is. I mean, it's not like you go, if you know, have you had family members die? Josh would be a great friend with you. It's not that you become friends with you because of that, but you're
It's just a benefit of having become friends.
Right.
Yes.
Because a lot of people say he's quiet, he's angry, he's grouchy. That's not always true. He's quiet, he's pensive, and he's grouchy. Wonderful. Wonderful. Is it Dan Marsh again? Dan Marsh says, it seems like most... Did you want to react to a third Jew?
No, I can just say, why, thanks. That's nice of you to say.
Thank you, third Jew. That's hard to say. Dan Marsh says, it seems like most comedians enjoy a little ribbing from their friends as a sign of affection. But what do your wives make fun of you about? And can they snap you out of a mood by giving you the business? Absolutely. It happened just... What would happen just last night? I forgot what the context was, but it was either like cameo or something. And I said it in earnestness, but I'm a celebrity. I said to her in earnest, and she goes, "A minor celebrity." That was pretty good. She's very funny.
She is indeed.
And yes, she can nail me all the. How about when she just out of the blue? She's not here today. Out of the blue, laughs at Josh crushing me.
I love that about her.
That's great.
Yes.
How about on your side of the bed?
She laughs when I crush you too, Allison. I have to say, honestly, I mean, Allison's a very funny person, but she's not good at the insult joke. She doesn't. Correct. She doesn't. She doesn't have the love to contempt ratio down.
Do you think I've also influenced Susan by her hearing me say things like that so many times? She hears me.
Yes. No, I mean, that's part.
I don't think.
We don't, yeah, I mean, like, although I do make fun of Allison, certainly, because how can I get around it as being me? There isn't, we can't exist in that ecosystem, in the ribbing each other ecosystem.
Oh, right.
It's not fun.
It's not fun,
and it's yeah.
I do it sometimes with Susan.
We're pretty meanness free around here.
Well, here's the thing. My contention is that sometimes when you get married to somebody, you love things. I mean, this isn't like new. I always loved her sense of humor, and she literally gave me, like, during the bit where I would do Queer Eye for the straight guy, she literally told me, hey, when you get to the Jewish guy, you should go do a Jewish song. It's like she's very, very funny, and she is, the difference between her and a comedian is that she's not a comedian, but she's extremely, extremely funny, Yeah,
and she definitely has parts of the comic brain.
Right. And I'm sure Allison does too. Allison, but she's but some people don't engage. Like Susan sometimes will say, don't do that. Do not kid with me like that. I'll do it because we'll shut up, fuckface. We'll do this for like 5 minutes. And she goes, no, stop it. Get off of that.
And as long as you have that function, as long as you then do shut it down.
You have to, because it's bad.
Right. Yeah. No.
What's wrong, honey? What's wrong, honey? You couldn't figure out what nightgown to wear, so you wore both of them? Those don't go over.
Because the other thing with Allison is that it can work in the moment and then really circle back around. Because Allison likes to Zapruder conversations in her head. So sometimes you can it can be like the next day. You can go, well, it went fine at the time.
Zapruder is the worst person to when he would recall things at family gatherings.
I know.
It would be, he was the worst. He always had a film.
He would show vacation films, but he just showed 9 seconds of it over and over and over.
His whole life, all he wanted to shoot was women running out of the back of cars. It was like he got into a whole thing with that. You remember the Lenny Bruce bit?
It was a fetish, yes.
Lenny Bruce, which I think is an incorrect bit. She was trying to get the hell away, which is a funny bit in the sense that he was saying,
right,
if that happens, don't pretend that you need to be a hero, get the fuck away. But I don't think that's what she was doing.
No, she was gathering up his brains.
I have to laugh.
From the trunk.
I'm laughing because it's the one thing in my life I could never get over.
Yeah.
And so who cares now at this point? I mean, it's really, I love Kennedy.
You know what you know what I really have to bust you on there?
What?
The one thing in your life you can't get over?
No, I don't think that's busting me. I think it's just bringing it back to my attention that I'm. People think I hold grudges, which I think is odd.
Infuriating, even.
Greg Kelly says, is that where we are? Yes. Greg Kelly says, I really enjoyed the true heart you guys showed in your 300th show. It was a quintessential episode. But the elephant in the room was the absence of James Mason on the anniversary show. Scheduling conflict or bad blood. I told him never to do it again. And that you better not do it again.
All right.
No, I was kidding that you were about to launch into it.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm so glad to be back. No, it was just a scheduling conflict, although I sent a Thunderbird gift basket.
What are you drinking these days that you're not paid to say? You were paid to say Thunderbird. What do you drink now on your own?
You mean, what do I pay to drink?
Yeah. If it weren't for a commercial, what would you drink?
I drink a Jewish dessert wine.
No. I don't have any leads for you, James. I don't have a lead. I'm just saying that we're not doing the commercial now. Just tell me you think it's terrible. You really think it's terrible wine, right?
Not with some Fresca.
He's very frisky tonight, James Mason. Thank you, Greg Kelly. Would it kill you to the next couple of ones?
It wouldn't kill me, but it would fill me with resentment. But whatever. Jason Parton, is filmed before a studio audience, says, I don't remember if I sent in a question for this week's show. If I did, would you let me know? If I didn't, I apologize for my lack of contribution this week. It's like an Escher painting in a tweet.
Look, Jason, I will say that I thought that was a great tweet, and I only say it because I still haven't done your show yet, and I keep
putting it off.
But I think we should do it next week. And I'm not joking like you would joke. You did the show.
All right, I did it. I said I'll do it and then did it.
I'm a bad person who doesn't follow through. All in the do-da day. I'll stop singing.
I have 4 more verses to that song. So. I forgot what I actually had something I was going to say, but
because I fucked it up again. Sorry.
For lack of a better thing, I'll read Halpin Fraser's questions. Yeah. Hello, guys. Andy, we know you've worked under many names, such as Al Pastor, Rich Vane.
What was the second one?
Rich Vane. Altacocker. Josh, what pseudonyms have you had besides J. Elvis? I did that sort of slightly offensive Chinese character, low key, for a while.
Did you really?
I did.
No. What, in your act? Why am I believing these things?
I was in a stoner duo once called High and Mighty. I don't have a third thing.
I was in the Sklar Brothers for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You're going to have to answer the last question, too, because I lost where we were.
We're going to the gram.
Oh, I thought there was one more.
Is there?
I thought there was.
I don't know. If we are, they got fucked.
We're going to the gram, boop, 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 boop. We're going to the gram, schmicky, bang, bang. Oh, before you open up the gram, I just want to thank Jen Kirkman. She taught me how to do a story. And now I understand that there's 2 areas going on. It requires you to, first of all, want to promote yourself, which I kind of more want to self-sabotage. But if I was to get into it, now I understand it as a human being. I didn't understand it before. You can make a story that goes along the top of the thing, and in the middle of the screen is posts.
Right.
But when you have the stories and you're on, people can comment to you right away. And anyway, thank you, Jen.
Dan Wade, a.k.a. 15 DeLorean, says, Hi, Josh. I was listening to Graceland the other day, and I had no idea your homework sting was a takeoff of Paul Simon's Homeless.
Homework, we should do homework. We watch a movie, then we give our take.
What a lovely surprise. Now I'm wondering whether it's time for questions is original or not. I think I love I love it when you hear the parody before the thing.
Right.
So I love being the source of the parody you heard before the thing. But the rest are all mine, people, except for the landslide one I did a few weeks ago.
All right, now I have questions here, but are they the same questions? I have one from Munson 3786.
Yeah.
Munson 3786 wonders, Josh, Andy, Please help me with this question. When I was in college, I overheard two young women as they walked past me on campus. All I heard was one of them saying in an exasperated tone of voice. So finally, I just told them to roll over. Gentlemen, what was she talking about? I know exactly what she was talking about. She was doing her version of this joke. Honey, your something is too tight and your other thing is, and she goes, flip me over. Something like that.
Make up your mind. I got to adjust the chair.
Yeah, something like that.
That's a dentist joke, actually.
I think that you tried to look. I think you were. Here's what happens. Here's the first part of the joke. I tried to put something in my husband's ass. Is this good? And it was like it was a ruler. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. That's how I heard it.
He said, stop it. You're hurting me. So finally I just told him, roll over if you don't want a ruler in your ass. No?
No, I think that's how, like I said, that's how I heard it. Bryce Colton says, Spike, can we anticipate more call-in appearances on Jonathan Katz's podcast? Oh, I swear to God, I wasn't playing. I had no idea who Spike was. I think of it as the album is a Elvis Costello album. Yeah, a good one.
So the question is, yes, they're not call-ins. It's a show. He makes the thing. Yes. Why am I answering stupidly? I hope to.
Foodie Giuliani says, if I prefer picking the salt chunks off my dark chocolate caramels only to place them in a jar by bedside for later use, does that make me a bad person?
No.
No, that's just self-care.
This is a new Josh. I really like it. It's not like you're not like Morning Zoo, but you're so happy. You're giddy. You are giddy.
I'm Morning Ashram. And finally, Daisy Petunia says, how do you think the Trump indictment will affect the rumored Fiddling Horse sequel? I think it might. I think our Soros-funded sequel will benefit.
Yeah. Did you know that George Soros knew that guy? George Soros knew that guy? George Soros. Look, when I say globalists, I don't mean Jews. I don't mean dirty Jews. If I say globalist, that doesn't mean I'm saying dirty Jews, right?
I keep hearing dirty Jews. That's all.
No, I'm saying globalists.
Oh, what? No, why do you keep saying dirty Jews?
Because Jews. See, here's the thing. Jews. This is delightful to Jews, even if it's not funny. Right. We get to say Jews back to each other.
If you'd like to support Two Dirty Jews, go to buymeacoffee.com/thoughtspiral and with promo code Dirty Jew. Thanks for joining us this week. Thanks to Alex Brazell for all his help.
I saw him in a suit on Instagram.
Oh my God. He's a manager now.
He looks good, but then I realized he hasn't posted to Instagram in 4 years. I don't think he does Instagram.
He's doing stories.